Hello and welcome to Survive the Unexpected with your host Frank Pacino and my partners in crime, Amanda Bryant and James Hansen. And we are starting in Big Brother 3, the first 5 episodes, the first eviction week. It is extended week. I'm not entirely sure why it was so long, but it is. But before we get started, if you like what you're listening to and you'd like to hear more, please give us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, iTunes, Spotify, join our Facebook group, follow us on Twitter. All those links are in the bio. So I love Big Brother 3. Neither of you guys have seen Big Brother 3, so this is your guys. Amanda, you kind of know more than James going into it, but for overall purposes, you guys don't really know a ton about the season. So, what's your guys' perspective on the first 5 episodes?
I think it feels really modern, even though it's older. I think it still has a nice modern feel to the cast to it. I enjoy the cast a lot more than I did Big Brother 2. I like that the diary rooms are still real, but they're not as bad as, I don't know. I just think it's a step above Big Brother 2 that they're going into the right direction of how they want Big Brother to be. And I get that feel of this season, at least in the beginning of it.
See, so I really enjoy the cast so far, and I think that it's. I've never seen Big Brother 1 or 2, but it does feel like it. Like I was worried about it being outdated, but it doesn't really feel that outdated to me. And I do think there's a lot of interesting people, and it's pretty interesting from the get go. So I've enjoyed it so far for sure.
Yeah, so let's just talk about some of the cast members we have. We have Amy, we have Danielle, we have Eric, Jerry, Jason, Josh, Lisa, Lori, Marcellus, Robbie, Tanya, and I always say her name wrong. Is it Sierra? Or I always say her name wrong.
Yeah,
CH.
Chiara.
Yeah, I always say her name. Chiara, yeah, Chiara, whatever. I always say her name wrong. I don't know why.
Either way.
But so we have I feel like the first 5 episodes, even though we get eviction, we do get a lot of content for most of this cast. I think the people who we're missing a lot of, I think we don't see a lot of Tanya, and that's about it. Everybody else, we kind of get a good feel for who they are, what they're about, their personality, how they're going to mix with other people in the house. I think we get that all in the first 5 episodes, which is amazing. We don't. This is why I think older Big Brother is way better than modern Big Brother. They focus more on the cast to make the game than the game to make the season.
Yeah.
So their focus, they have a really good cast instead of throwing 20 twists in there like modern Big Brother does nowadays. They just kind of let them go, let them be intermingle with each other, have interesting dynamics, and it's just fun to see. Like I said, I'm really high in the season, so it's hard for me to talk bad about the season. There's only a few things that I dislike. It is like the competitions are fun; they're nothing special, but I don't need the competition to be crazy.
The very first one they did,
and a lot of the time in Big Brother, the competitions are very like corny.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the case like in this release so far.
No.
So I love the first HOH. I wish they did this every single season or bring it out every other season or something like that. They should definitely have this competition for the HOH more often, where they spin a wheel. They have two people come up, or one person comes up and said, "Hey, who represents the slutty person?" And they have to pick the slutty person. They said,
I did like that, and
who's the funniest?
Primed like for Lisa to win that type of challenge.
Yeah,
really.
I know.
Like that's what I thought.
But it's just like that competition is such an icebreaker, and it's already starting the social game right away by playing a game like that, because then the person has to chop somebody off and go up there, spin the wheel, and do it themselves. It's just a lot of fun, in my opinion. I love it. So we do get it's only 12 house guests, which is nice. We don't like it's a nice little cast. I think I think 16 is fine. Is if they had the double, no battle backs. Don't need no battle backs. Ever in Big Brother, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Or
I like
Survivor.
16, but that's like my gripe. Like I like the older seasons more that I've seen so far, but I wish if they were all 16, I wouldn't complain. I would like more vote outs and more like gameplay.
I don't mind that if they don't have a battle back. We don't need a battle back. 16 is enough.
You know how I feel about battle backs. I always
Once you're voted out, you should be out.
Yes.
That's just how it should be. Yeah.
That should be the game for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we get to the we did get in right away. They do a food competition, and they all have to gather as much food as they can in the bags and get into this tree. And guy girl pairs, and they get in the pairs, and then Big Brother's like, all right, the last pair standing in the tree will win $3,000 every week. They're both staying in the house. And it just like starts the game right away.
Right away.
So then who ends up getting it? Was it Jason and
Lori?
Jason and Lori, yeah. And then we also saw other pairs looking as like potential like showmances like right off the gate, basically.
So
yeah.
I looked at that and my first instinct was like, I'm not winning this.
No.
I won't be the first one out, but I won't be the last one getting out either. I think Danielle had the right approach. She's like, look, we already lasted so long in this. We showed we're here to play, but that's enough. Let's get out of here. And it's just cool to see that people are actually thinking about the game more than like this is a buddy camp. We're not here to buddy. That's why I think to me Big Brother is better than older Survivor. I feel like older Big Brother, there's people here to play the game. A lot of time over older Survivor, there's half the cast sometimes that's just there to
probably
go
the
on
opposite
vacation.
now, though.
Yeah, it's the opposite now.
So the last couple Big Brother seasons, like
So I think older Big Brother did a really good job of giving people who are here to play, and Survivor kind of struggled at that. They did really bad in the early 20s with that, but they definitely gotten better in modern Survivor. But in Big Brother, we've gotten kind of worse. So Big Brother 23 was all right.
So like Survivor, like maybe like 10 through like 20 wasn't bad with that either. But I do agree with you. The early seasons of Survivor and then like 21 to like 24, there was a lot of people who didn't understand like how to really play the game. So
yeah, I would say like the first 10 seasons of Survivor, theirs is, but they start getting better throughout after that. But then they struggle again in the 20s. Yeah. And then they get better throughout later in the 20s. But
42 has been great.
But so yeah, it's they last in there for hours, and the grouping is interesting that the first six three pairs fell off, and they go in there immediately start an alliance like that, and which is kind of the right thing to do. But Josh is already throwing out names. He's like, look, I want Marcellus out. And it's just like,
Josh was playing so hard from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I know we've talked about it, but we haven't said it on here. That was who Rob C would have been if he had played, because he applied for Big Brother 3 and Josh was cast instead of him. So I think that's interesting.
Josh reminds me of Matt from Big Brother 12.
I like Matt a lot, actually.
Me too. Yeah.
But I think, he does remind me of him a little bit.
It reminds me of Matt. It's reminding you of Matt from Baby 12.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Less smart than
But I'm saying he even looks like Rob C.
A little bit. Yeah, especially in the early days in Survivor.
Yeah.
He's definitely something. He is very outgoing. Oh my goodness, Amy in the tree was hilarious.
Oh, Amy was she was wasted. Like,
yes.
She looked at the camera, goes, "Hey, it's Amy TV." I was like, "Oh my god!"
So Amy's just trying to play like this likable, like Southern girl, and she ends up getting too drunk the first night and just rubbing, most of them the wrong way. So.
It's interesting.
Thought her getting drunk would make her be charming, but it really was not. Like what happened.
I liked Amy.
I like Amy too. Yeah.
It's interesting to see how fast the season moved in this first 5 episodes. Right away, the first episode we get the group of 6, where it's Amy, Jerry, Josh, Lisa, Eric, and was it Kiara? I think it was her, right? That was who he was paired with.
Yeah, it was her.
And then it was, and then the other pairs were Jason and Lori, who ended up winning, Marcellus and Danielle, who came in third, and then it was Robbie and who's the last one? Who's the last? Oh, Tanya. Sorry, I forget Tanya's even like she's definitely blank in these first 5 episodes.
Vegas girl, right?
Yeah, the mom.
I thought, yeah.
Oh, when Marcellus is talking about her in the room.
Oof.
So I'm watching episode 6 actually right now. Like so yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it's so like we get a fun segment from Amy for her being drunk and just be outlandish. You know, Kiara is trying to hook up with people. She is there to have fun.
Yeah.
Danielle is there to play a game. She's business. Eric is a handsome dude thinking he's gonna just, you know,
I like Eric. Eric's the firefighter.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So he's also the town he's from, Milford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
That's like right next to where my mom's from. So
okay.
I just noticed that and I was like, that's pretty cool. But yeah.
Jerry the teacher. And then we have Jason the Christian, the virgin Christian at that we find out.
From Alabama?
Arkansas. Or no, Alabama. You're right. Yeah. Josh, I forgot what he does, but he said he was a sub
character.
Yeah, he's just all over the screen.
He's from New York.
Yep, and then Lisa's from Los Angeles, and then we have Lori, another mom. Marcellus,
like Minnesota or something.
Yeah. Marcellus cracks me up. He's great in the diary room. This is why I feel like these guys are really good in the diary room.
So and Marcellus kind of put himself back against the wall right away, like got his name out there, and then I mean, like he's gonna get himself taken off the block. So
yeah.
He doubled down on the people not liking him just by reacting and retaliating against it. Yeah. And
then Roddy. I keep saying Robbie. It's Roddy.
He's a Jersey guy.
He only reminds me of Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men.
Little bit.
Yeah. A little bit, yes.
And then Tanya, the mother of 4, and Marcellus is like the
5 kids.
Or 5. Oh,
yeah.
Marcellus says some harsh things about her.
Oh yeah, he was
the slut of a mother pretending to, or the hooker pretending to be a mother or something like that. Like,
yikes.
Things like that would probably be bleeped out nowadays, but
sure.
All right, I gotta go pee.
All right, you're good. Okay. But it was a lot. There was a lot of things that he's like that was said throughout because it's older. That things wouldn't be said nowadays.
Sure, yeah, and we're gonna have that with the early 2000s content, whether it be Survivor or Big Brother. You know, there's gonna be things that were said back then that were fly on television or just in society in general.
Honestly, any movies, TV, any kind of reality TV, things are said differently than they would be acceptable now.
Sure.
But like I said, I really enjoyed the HOH competition. We had a couple fun food competitions and luxury competitions where they had to change bathing suits with each other and this like slop to win the hot tub, which it's just fun to see. They're having fun.
Yes, they're having fun. They're getting to know each other.
Right. And it's just like fun to see them doing that. And what do you think about Marcellus trying to pretend, like not pretend, but like kind of pretend to be straight?
Well, I mean, he really didn't pretend. I mean, like what he did, he just didn't come out and openly say that he was gay to everybody. So he let people kind of make their own perception of it. I think that's the best way to do it. He's not drawing attention to himself, but at the same time, he's not, letting people walk all over him either.
Yeah, I think nowadays it's more acceptable to be like, hey, I'm I'm gay.
Oh, for sure.
But like for back
Nowadays,
then,
we have multiple LGBTQ.
yeah. So, but nowadays it's a little iffy. So I totally understand why he is a little nervous.
Even with season 16, when they had Aubrey on there, was that her name, or Audrey on there?
17.
That was 17. Yeah, even 17 with her on there, that was huge.
That was the first ever trans woman. Yeah.
Yep. First ever trans.
Yeah. So
we had our first trans in Survivor 34. Yeah.
Yes. And it was told to us by not him, which was an ugly sight.
Yeah.
So Josh comes up with this plan, gives it to Lisa because they're in this alliance, this Power Six alliance.
Yes.
Said, hey, we got to get Marcellus out. Let's get her. And he tells everybody, he's like, look, I'm so confident in that we get Marcellus out that you can put me next to him, which is such a terrible, terrible move to do.
Yes.
Never volunteer yourself for the block.
Never.
So
they don't know what they're not sure what's going on yet.
So he's like, he tells Lisa, like, I can't do that. You got to put somebody else up. And he's like, look, let's do Lori. I'll tell her she's safe. Don't worry about it. Because they were playing under the assumption that once the nominations are set, they're set.
We're set.
So they didn't know about the veto. So they come out this plan. They tell Lori, and Josh swears up and down in high heaven, look, I swear on my girlfriend Marin, I will not vote against you. So, so by the way, I miss the key box, the big key box.
I do not.
You don't? Oh
no, I don't want to spend all that time wasting all the keys. I mean, I do like the order of the keys. I feel like that's part of the game almost a little bit, especially back then. But I don't miss it nowadays. I really don't.
Oh, making people sweat towards the end when there might be a nomination.
Yes.
Oh, please bring it back. I'd love to bring it back. I personally love the key box. I think it's great. I
just like the editing of not having too much wasted time. And I feel like the nomination ceremonies sometimes can be a little drug out for no reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have 5 minutes of game talk conversation edited in the episode than I would of them pulling keys out one by one.
Look, there's the other things that, like, I will not die in a hill and say it needs to be on there, but if I could find time, I would find time to put them in the box, especially when it's like sides and you don't know who's going up, and or there's like, it could be 4 people and you're like, oh shit, who is it gonna be? You're sweating. And it's just brings so much tension, because like nowadays you flip the first one, like, oh, the next one, oh, and then that's it. So it's just there's no dramatics about it nowadays, in my opinion. And that's why I miss. But Lisa does nominate Lori and Marcellus. You're good. You're just talking about the nominations.
Yeah.
So she does nominate Lori and Marcellus, and Lisa, basically says, look, Lori, you bond with a lot of people, but you haven't tried to bond with me, which is just crazy to think about. Like, she's the HOH. Go kiss some butt. And a lot of people did kiss her butt. It was crazy to see how the perception changed when she went HOH. Like, people are like, what do you want? Can I get you this? Can I get you that? And Josh was freaking out into nominations. He thought he was for sure going out.
Do you like the key box, James?
What'd you say?
Do you like the key box, like them pulling the keys out one by one?
Yeah, I do. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Me too. I love it.
Too.
I'd rather see that than what they do now with it, basically. But yeah.
Yeah, I like what they do now, because I like not having as long as a nomination ceremony. I feel like it can be kind of drug out sometimes. But I do enjoy like Frank said earlier, like the sweat of it, like the sweat of having your key pulled out.
So within this nomination, the Power Six goes from having Amy in it to getting rid of Amy and putting Roddy in it. So the 6 now is Josh, Jerry, Roddy, Lisa, Kiara, and Eric. So that's the 6 now. Jerry definitely seems like an odd person to be in there, but he's in there. He's all about it. We gotta get Marcellus out. Da 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 da. And as the week goes on, Josh starting to rub people the wrong way, starting to rub Jerry the wrong way, and other people the wrong way because he's coming up with all these scenarios and freaking out and trying to think like
It's
what's the
way too
worst case.
fast.
Yeah, way too fast.
Way too fast. Yeah, right from the get go.
Then we get announced of the power of Veto, and this is not the golden power of Veto, but the silver power of Veto, where
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's weird. Where everybody competes. The winner of the power of Veto can pull one of the two nominees off the block, and they cannot go up. But you cannot win and pull yourself off the block. Which is just weird.
It's just they haven't fine-toothed it yet.
Yeah. This is the first time they come out with the power of Veto, which I think is a fine addition into the game. And they definitely figure it out
without it.
They definitely figure out more throughout the years, but
imagine think about these two seasons, 2 and 3 compared to season 13, between advantage wise, it's huge difference.
How do you think about the Veto playing out the way it is, James?
This being the first season they did that.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it was a addition to the game that needed to happen because at that point it's just boring.
Yes.
In a game like this where only two people are up on the block, you need some sort of way to save someone, whether you win it or whether someone else wins it and takes you off the block. It adds a whole different dynamic to the game, but I love it. I think the power of Veto is a phenomenal and staple in Big Brother still, and I'm glad that they brought it along season 3.
Have imagine having no power of Veto in a cast of 18 now.
Yeah,
oh my god, only having two
exactly, yeah.
Able to go home, there's no change to it. That is so boring to me.
Yeah, look, it's a good addition. It's not totally figured out. It does need some tweaking. They do tweak it every season until they get it right. But they do add it, and everybody's like, this could change the game, da 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 da. And they go to the next the power of Veto challenge, and it's like an elimination. You kind of have these balls and you shoot in somebody's basket. If you have to call the person's name out though that they're shooting for. A lot of people shot themselves out, which I thought was a little weird.
Yeah.
But at the time, Jerry was still starting to feel bad that Marcellus is in the block, that he should have known that he was gay and all this stuff, that he had gay friends and they didn't see it. It bothers him. It's not the greatest look for him, but it comes down and Jerry ends up winning the power of Veto. He's the first ever power of Veto winner. And
that was such a bullshit comp too. It was
yeah.
Yeah, it
was like a carnival game. Look, Big Brother.
That's a lot of Big Brother comps, though. Basically,
yeah. So it's Jerry wins it, and everybody's like, "Oh man, what's he gonna do?" Da da da, and they're all freaking out. I love Jason's and Danielle's dynamic, sitting at that table playing cards, act like they're just playing cards, and they're really talking about strategy, and they're listening for things, and they're comparing notes and that's how
you're supposed to play. And we see aspects of that even being used today in Big Brother and in Survivor as well.
Yeah, this is the first ever secret alliance where usually, like in Big Brother 2, everybody knew where they're aligned with you pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So this is the first time people are like, we're gonna keep it quiet and we're gonna listen for stuff and get information from stuff and yeah. So we do get them talking a lot, which I do like. And again, Danielle's perspective, again, Jason's perspective about where the game is going. And Jason does get approached by Josh and was like, hey, let's look out for each other this next couple of weeks. Da, da, da. So he tells her, And when he tells her that, you know it's a thing because they're really comparing notes there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best way to do it is keep a line secret.
You don't, yeah, that way you guys can vote together, especially in a mix of that many people still left, and you guys won't be caught at all at that point in time.
And they say it right off the get go. Let's let the
Yeah.
sides fight. Let's let the sides fight it out. We'll sit over here and we'll just keep quiet and let things fall the way they fall.
Right.
So you have you seen the food competitions before, James?
In Big Brother,
Yeah.
so I'm not totally like familiar with them all, but I know they're not like it's not quite like the Survivor gross food eating challenges.
No, they're just
Yeah.
So if they don't get food, they just all they have to eat is peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
So I personally like the food competitions where half the cast wins and the other half doesn't. I think
I
it's
like
great
that
and
too. Yeah.
see.
So yeah, it's like more. Isn't it another thing like if you're on the bottom in Big Brother, you're on slop. Like
if you win if you're in the so the first I think 6 seasons are peanut butter jelly, and then from 7 on is slop.
yeah.
So if you lose and you don't win the if you so some of the times if you're like the last 4 or the first 4 to fall in a challenge, you 4 are on slop for the week, and you have to sleep in terrible beds.
I could live on the peanut butter and jelly. Like
Me too.
I could too.
Yeah.
I watched this back in the day. I'm like,
I love peanut butter and jelly.
me too. I was like, dude, I have it for lunch every day now. So like,
Yeah.
I'll make a couple, and you could toast it up. You could add seasonings and stuff to it. You could do that. You just can't have anything besides peanut butter and jelly. You can do whatever you want with it. I might grill that shit. Fucking.
Yeah.
I would just have fun with it. I wouldn't even care. But I think they're fun. I like the food competitions. They're fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're just them having fun, and you see people irritated afterwards. It's just like, this is fun. I don't know what it is about. There's so many episodes of Big Brother, so I would like to have fun in different segments of those episodes.
Yes.
Like if it's all serious gameplay all the time, I'm gonna get burnt out a little bit after 3 months of watching it. 2 months of watching it.
I mean, yeah, when you're watching 30 episodes,
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And that's what I think the food competitions do is bring fun and a little bit of a breather from all the drama and
especially for the live watchers too.
The game itself.
Almost like the Survivor auction. Like I think that should be on every Survivor season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of like that. It just brings something
fun,
different and fun to like a pretty like ruthless game.
I mean, why? I mean, the only look, the rewards aren't my favorite part of Survivor, but it's fun to go see them bond and have a cool experience.
Yeah, and you do like we saw it this season. Like you do see a good amount of strategy some of the time from the reward challenges. You know what I mean? Like that's when Omar told Mike that like Hai thought he was like his puppet, whatever. And like we saw significant stuff from that. We have in other seasons too. Like there's been iconic moments from reward challenges. Like so yeah.
So how I want to say that we do get a lot of moments from this cast which just stand out. We have a lot from Josh. We have a lot from Lisa, the HOH. We usually get a lot from Marcellus, Jason, Jerry. Jerry's his own thing.
Jerry's not bad either.
Like I said, I think the only person we don't get a lot of is Tanya. The only thing we know about her is she has a mom and she has fake boobs.
Pretty much, yeah. Like besides that, we pretty much, I would say maybe Roddy too. I mean, he's at least been a little more vocal, but I would say besides Tanya, probably Roddy is the one we know the least about, like these first few episodes. But
yeah, so eventually, Marcellus tells everybody like I'm gay, We do get a fun segment with him talking about how he used to be with a woman and he was engaged to a woman.
Yeah, he has.
And
Doesn't he have kids
no,
too?
no, he didn't have kids. No,
I thought he said he. I thought he did have kids.
I
That
don't think so. But anyways, he was engaged. He told how he proposed and everything like that. But yeah, eventually. But I mean, you could tell. I mean,
Oh yeah.
no offense to Marcellus, but you could
yeah,
tell.
He's
I
being who he
mean,
really is. Yeah, he's being who he really is
Yeah.
now.
So that was a fun segment. Good to see him kind of be himself and open up to some of the people and kind of like mellow back down.
Right.
But yeah. So what do you think of Jerry's decision making going into this? He was originally in the Power Six. So he goes into the Power of Veto and he has a chance to pull off Marcellus or Lori, and he ends up taking Marcellus
he
off.
uses it and puts. I mean, Lisa puts Amy up instead, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's especially with Jerry, who kind of rubs a little bit of people the wrong way early. It's definitely bold to use that power of veto the first week,
Yeah.
especially if it was a. I think Marcellus might have went if he was still on the block.
I think he would have went. Yeah,
I think based off the edit that he would have went.
yeah.
Do you think
I
he
know
felt
like
pressured to do
the
it?
edit's not everything in Big Brother, but just based off what we got from the first few episodes, I think Marcellus would have went if Jerry did not use.
No, I don't think he got pressure to do it. I think he
I don't
look,
mean pressured by
he
necessarily
was a
others,
good
but do you think he felt pressured by since him, he won the comp and production gave him this prize, the power veto for winning the comp. I think he felt like a little bit of winner's pressure to use it and make a move with it, other than just not use it at all since he won the competition.
maybe perhaps, but I think what happened was that he couldn't honestly. I think Josh happened. I think that's what happened
Yeah,
mostly, that he was aligned with Josh and he couldn't handle doing it with Josh anymore,
yeah,
and he just got on Josh, got on his nerves, and he started to connect with Lori and Marcellus more and realized, look, I'm definitely more like them than the others. So, which he is, like, he sticks out like a sore thumb in that Six Alliance.
right.
Then what he would be working with the Amy, Marcellus, the Lori, and things like that. So I kind of understand where he's coming from. Like, he was always going to be sixth in that group.
Yeah,
Uh,
it
so
didn't. It made some sense at least. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he went about his speech was a lot. Saying that I'm not gonna let the gay black man go home first, and like the racism happen, or the because you're gay being biased because of that. And he says all this. It's all aired.
Yeah,
There's no, and it's a lot.
a
And
lot.
And before the veto is used, Marcellus is like looking at Jerry and said, he goes, or was it in his confessional, one of the two? I don't want you to use the veto on me because I'm black or gay. I want you to use it because I'm an ally for you. Which is the right thing to say.
And obviously, can you imagine if Marcellus did go home this round? Like, it would have changed the whole course of the rest of the game.
For sure. I mean, James don't know, so how
Yeah, I
far he
know.
goes.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. It does change the course of the game, saving somebody. Well, I mean, he does end up winning HOH. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure would have changed that outcome.
Yep.
So Lisa puts up Amy. Amy's clearly the decoy vote by the Power Six. And then basically what they did was take Jerry out and put Tanya in the group of six. And they make a good attempt at it. They're trying to. We don't know where the vote's going. People are trying to sway one way or the other. How do you feel about them not making a live vote? How it's already
I
pre-recorded.
like the live vote better.
Me too.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't know. It's like I do and I don't, because I hate the process of voting. Because again, it's just drug out. Like, oh, this person goes vote. Okay, this person goes vote, and they have to shout out their family and all their friends, and then they have to do the little dance in the hallway. Like, I'm over that.
I hated it. I hated it in Big Brother 22 and 23 where we knew how they were voting every time, but it's cool when you actually don't know how someone's voting
Yeah.
to see them in the dire room, which is more like Survivor, where they won't show who they're voting for really, but it's still like, I mean, it's interesting to see like what they have to say when like they're on the fence about it. But like modern Big Brother, like usually we know who everyone's voting for. So
Yeah, honestly, I think the first 4 evictions or so, even to jury, could be pre-recorded evictions.
yeah.
And then after that, if you want live evictions after that, that's fine. So we don't gotta see 13 people go through the hallway, skipping through and shaking hands and doing dances and stuff, and saying, shout out mom, da 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 da, da," and it
Yeah,
gets off. We don't
that's
have
how it
like,
is in modern. Remember, like the
yeah,
last, like it's all about that. Like they shout someone out. They're like all happy-go-lucky in the
right,
hallway because they know it's about to be a fucking unanimous vote because the people who play Big Brother now don't actually want to play the game. So yeah,
yeah, uh, yeah. I think the first few could be pre-recorded, and then if they want to do live halfway through the game, go ahead, go live. That's fine. Most of the time, it don't matter because we know who's going on. Oh, with 4 votes or with 5 votes of it, someone's going home. But let's see how the rest of the votes are going to go.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, things like that. It's just, yeah, we don't need to see that. Um, but they do a fun competition where the nominees before the veto is played get to pick the teams. Marcella's team wins, and he picks all the oddballs, and they get like a party on the outside, and everybody has to watch. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I thought so too, and I don't know, like I've really enjoyed these first like few episodes, but yeah, like I've been invested because it's not easy to tell what's gonna happen,
Right.
and
How do you feel about the backyard to this backyard to modern Brother backyard?
uh, I mean, to be honest, I don't like
I like the balcony.
I I like this. I like this one to be honest.
Me too. Give me the basketball hoop all day.
Yeah,
Give me a basketball hoop all day in a pool
and
and a
like,
hot tub. I'm
all right,
happy.
don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like, all right, so were if they smoked cigarettes, like I think Lori was a cigarette smoke. She was allowed to smoke like in the show. I think like
Yeah, they showed it.
she was at least smoking and like some of the clips and stuff.
Right.
You remember when they cast it for BB-8? You haven't seen BB-8, right, James?
No,
No.
he is not.
Remember when they cast it for BB-8 and they showed Evil Dick suitcase and it was just full of cigarettes, like packs of cigarettes, halfway full. He's like, I have to bring enough.
But yeah, so we get to the vote. We're not sure who's going home. It doesn't make it very clear, which I
we
like.
have no idea really.
We have no idea.
I thought it was gonna be Amy, to be honest.
He does. So ends up being a 5-4 vote for Lori.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the votes for Lori were Tanya, Eric, Marcellus, Roddy, and I keep saying her name wrong. Kiara.
Kiara, yeah.
Yeah.
Kiara.
Kiara.
Yeah, Kiara. Kiara.
Kiara.
Kiara.
Jerry, Danielle, Jason, and Josh voted for Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Josh kept his word. He didn't vote for. He didn't vote for Lori because he swore on his girlfriend Marin. Danielle's segment where she's making fun of everybody was hilarious. By the way,
what's a good one?
Amy. Da da da. She's like, Josh is the most unhandsome man I've ever seen in my life.
Unhandsome man I've ever seen. I'm dead.
But yeah, it was a 5-4 vote. We don't get to see a lot of those, and they go out. There's no crowd. How do you feel about the no crowd? Are you upset? There's no. Well, I guess there's no crowd. The last two. Huh?
There's no right now because of COVID. Yeah, I like the crowd.
I liked the crowd until they were told what to do.
Yeah. You can't heckle.
Yeah, if someone wanted to get booed, they should have got booed. But,
Right.
But yeah, Laurie's like, I don't care. I made a bond with Marcellus. I'm cool with going. Is it me or him to go? I think. And yeah, obviously Amy was good for Marcellus' game. He wanted to keep Amy around. But yeah, Laurie's interview was just she got voted out. She said, "Everybody, give me a hug." Da da da. See you guys later. So she gets out. So the HOH competition, I love this HOH competition when it revolves around the house and the game itself,
and the people in it and what they think of each other.
So where they said, what's in which room, and they have different things for each representing each room. If you get it wrong, you're eliminated. If you get it right, you're still in the game. I personally like competitions like this where it involves around the house, the game, and things like that. Not some corny video we just watched or some stupid trapeze show that we just watched.
Or dress up as something, or
yeah. How about you, James? Do you like the HOH competition that we got with the last one towards the end of the last episode?
I mean, it's pretty typical. It's more like a kind of like however it goes, like luckish base challenge, but I don't mind it. Yeah.
See, I actually think it's
usually
more.
The second video or the second HOH is always a luck based challenge.
So I don't think it was luck. I think you had to know where everything was, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of you had to be aware to around your settings.
You had to be paying attention to what was going on in the house.
Yeah. Marcellus ends up winning the HOH, which is just like Big Brother Justice. It's like Big Brother Justice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when things like this happen in Big Brother. It's easier just to flip the game as an individual in Big Brother than it is in Survivor, because even if you win immunity, you don't get to decide who goes home.
No.
In Big Brother, you do have a say on who gets to go home. You have two people.
At least you can make a move with the veto. Even if the HOH doesn't want you to, you can still do it. Might put you in hot water later, but you can still do it.
That's why I think I think Big Brother is awesome game itself, because even if you're at the bottom, you have a chance to pull yourself out of it. You can make a move, and you can set yourself up with 1 week's worth of work if you do it correctly. So going into the next round of episodes, Marcellus will be leading our HOH, which we should probably have an idea on where he's going with it. Clearly he was targeted. Josh did say some mean things about Jerry after he used the veto. We'll not repeat some of them. But he basically said he's done. He's going home. And Josh. Is there any other moments that stuck out for you guys in the first few episodes?
I pretty much covered almost a little bit of everything. It's just I enjoy it. It's just getting through the old television part of it. But the cast is entertaining enough. It doesn't feel as boring as it did for 2 for me. So I'm liking it so far. I just need to get into the good meat of it and getting to know the characters even more so.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed it a lot so far.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Like I said, I think so. Usually it's only 3 episodes per eviction, but what I did think what these first 5 episodes did was it gives us a chance to get to know everybody before this game actually kicks off.
I didn't mind that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, when I got into it, I was like, holy shit, there's only 1 eviction in the first 5 episodes, because we were originally going to do the two evictions. And I was like, guys, this is 5. We better just chill on the first eviction.
The first one. It's enough television here.
But honestly, it really wasn't that bad of a watch, because you got segments and got a chance to know everybody. Get to see Amy be Amy. You got to see Josh be Josh. You get to see Marcellus be Marcellus. You get to see some cool pairs. Of course, the hookups, Lisa, Eric. The showmance is pretty much Lisa, Eric. Yeah, Roddy, Kiara, and it's just it's a fun season. I love the characters in the season. And I don't know what it is about old Big Brother, but I just have. I don't even have this. I don't even have nostalgia because I didn't watch it when I was live. It's just
I just really like it. Yeah,
I just really like it. So like that's why like it's not nostalgia for me because my first season was 17, which when you watch 17, Amanda, you know is a lot going on in 17.
Oh yeah, I mean I watched the first like 6 episodes of 17.
Yeah.
I have seen the first like 6 episodes of 17, so I remember the beginning of it. And yeah, it's a huge different feel than the beginning of something like season 3. Like before they're still trying to get their feel on how they play the game.
I forgot we forgot to talk about before we go the no washing of hands by Jerry.
Oh,
how he went to the bathroom, walked out and dug his hands in the salad, made the salad for everybody.
Oh my god!
And you just get this like terrible music, and you look at Danielle's face of this disgust.
Oh my god, dude! You know Danielle wanted to backhand him.
And she goes, "My ghetto-ness came out. I went off on him." And she's like, "I don't care who heard it." And she brought it down and all this stuff, and it was a big mess. It was a big fight already, and Lori stuck up for him, and it was an all ordeal. I do think it's interesting that the $3,000 twist that they did try to put in the game for each week they survived is now gone because Lori's gone. So it did come down. It is kind of sucky that the HOH competition did come down to Lisa and Lori. Lisa ended up winning the HOH competition, and Lori ended up going home. So it was
Lori's on the one the reward comp, right, or the food comp, right?
Yeah, her and Jason did.
Yeah, her and Jason did.
So that $3,000 twist is gone because she's gone. I think first go. I think it's one of those things that it's probably better for it to go for Jason's game overall.
Oh, for sure.
But at the time, he's probably thinking, "Man, $3,000 extra to sit around here would be nice."
Oh yeah, he was about it. I'm surprised. Yeah. He didn't try to vote her out there.
Because you know how Big Brother works. That if you make it to final 2, you get none of your stipends. You just get what you get for winning or coming in second.
Really?
It's almost worth it to finish in 4th or 3rd sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if you won other competitions. If you like extra money,
you get little cash prizes.
And Big Brother 16, Donnie actually got more money than Cody did for coming in second because of his stipends and his Team America and him winning America's Favorite. So Donnie ended up having more money than Cody did for coming in second.
I love
kind of wild, kind of wild to think about. So
I like Donnie too.
Yeah. So I think that's about it for the first week. I mean, a lot of getting to know each other. People had different moments. Josh was Josh. He was loud throughout all these episodes. He was paranoid and he kept saying, trying to come up with these ideas, and everybody's like, "Dude, just shut up, stop."
He's playing too fast.
Yeah, Lisa was pretty cute, cool about how everything was. She kept trying to tell, Josh, don't try to tell me how to play a game. I can know how to play the game.
Yep. Just trying not to be controlled.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. We're here to see more. Are we going to for sure cover the next 2 evictions in? Should be 3 to 3.
That's like 6 episodes, right?
Correct.
So over 6 episodes, we should be able to get the next 2, right?
2 evictions. Yeah. The only reason why this was different, I don't know why they had it different, but they did. But
they just had the first 5 episodes as one this time.
So, all right. So we'll be back covering the next 2 evictions. Starting out with the Marcellus HOH. We kind of probably have a good idea where he's going.
2 gets to 2. Yeah.
There's probably a good chance of some of that 6th group going in. It's just a matter of who goes in, and we'll see how it goes. Before we go, do you guys think voting out Lori was the right decision, or voting out Amy would have been better for the 6?
I think for the 6, probably Amy going would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, I would lean Amy too.
But for entertainment purposes, Amy needs to be in.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it. I think they've probably seen them at the same level.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you're already nominated, I don't know, it's hard to come back to working with somebody when you nominate them and they're not happy about it. So either way, I think they would have been in probably the same position, to be honest. But I think that's about covers it. We are going to do a host interview with Justin Vreeland. I believe it's going to be sometime later this week. So that should be fun. Our first ever host interview with me and Amanda was with Tony. So now we're getting his counterpart. Should be interesting to see what he has to say. He's a man of bold statements. So hopefully he doesn't disappoint with us. But we'll talk to you.
Super Duper Survivor Org. He's also won Bresky Survivor Org, and he's also won Animation Survivor Org. So there's going to be a lot of content, and he plays in Jaquith. So
and he was runner up in Torg too.
Yeah.
Yep. And he is fourth place in Broski All Stars as the winner. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely probably one of the goats of org.
Yeah,
community probably. He's definitely in the upper echelon. I've only played with him one time. It wasn't very long.
But I think we were never on the same tribe together.
So I'm interested to ask him some questions on how he feels about his games, about Survivor. I don't think he's a huge Big Brother fan, so we'll be able to definitely touch on Survivor 42 and more cases that we just went through. So, but I think that about covers it for us this week. So, thank you guys for watching. If you like what you're listening to, please give us a like and subscribe. It will mean a lot to us. We're on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter. It mean a lot to us. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.